Hey everybody! So the other day I posted that I went live on Instagram and I shared this powerful message and I said I'll share it on Facebook and I didn't save it correctly and it disappeared. So I wanted to come on today to, I guess, give you a recap of what I said a few days ago on Instagram stories. But I've now finished 80 Day Obsession. Done. We took the pictures. We pressed play on day 80 workout. That was yesterday. And so I have my stats. I have Danny's stats. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. Oh, my computer's on and I'm looking at myself on my computer. But I wanted to not only share my stats of finishing 80 Day Obsession, but kind of giving that recap of that video that I shared the other day. And I got, I'm not even joking, this has never happened, where I got 50 messages on Instagram stories that these women and even some men were facing the same exact issue that I was going through prior to 80 Day Obsession. So I thought, you know what, if it made such an impact there, let's share it on Facebook too. So anyway, I'm going to share my stats at the end of this, but bear with me while I kind of recap. And of course, it's never going to be better than the first time you do it. I understand that, but just hear me out. So that day, I hadn't realized that Autumn had gone live on her page and had shared kind of her whole mindset, her whole very inspirational message about being skinny and being fit and the differences between being skinny and being fit and why 80 Day Obsession is such an important program. If you want to make real long-lasting change, not just drop some weight. And then at the end of that message, she mentioned me. And so if you didn't see it, here's the basic gist of it. A year ago, almost exactly to this day, I stood on the beach in San Diego with Autumn. We were dressed ridiculous. We were dressed like mermaids. And this had been an ongoing conversation between her and I. And we stood there on the sand for about 45 minutes. And she asked me, what's going on? And I said, I don't know. My body's not changing. I'm working out hard, obviously ignoring the whole nutrition aspect of it. I can't seem to lose weight. I feel like this is the way it's going to be. I had this procedure done so that Danny and I can't have any more kids. I had this thing called the Essure tubes put in, and basically it's these metal coils that create scar tissue in your fallopian tube that prevents pregnancy. It's permanent. You can't take it out. You're done. Once you put it in, you're done. And then of course, after I had that procedure done, you hear all these horror stories of women gaining weight and not being able to lose weight. And so in my head, I had convinced myself that was it. And I had probably made a mistake by having this procedure done, and that I was never going to be in the kind of shape that I was in before. And, she basically was telling me that's BS in Autumn's very nice way. And it's not only Autumn, a few people have shared with me over the last year that it was all BS, including my husband, my best friend, Elaine, my sister, Becky. But in my head, I was like, no, this is me now, right? And of course, when that happened, in the course of the last year, I kind of came up with this brand of Fit-ish, right? I saw a t-shirt, then I bought the t-shirt, and I said, you know what, that's exactly who I am. I'm Fit-ish. I'm probably never gonna have the six-pack. I enjoy my food, I enjoy my drinks, and that's going to be the brand that I kind of revolve my entire business around. And of course, everybody loved it. I loved it. It was fun because it kept me in this state where I could do these things and still have a very thriving business because people enjoyed that fit-ish lifestyle. And then what I noticed happening was a lot of my coaches started having this fit-ish lifestyle. And then you kind of go into this kind of way of thinking where balance, right? You coin it as, I'm just living in balance, right? And our whole society is like dead focused on this term. You have to have quote unquote balance, right? In order to be happy, you have to live in balance. In order to thrive, you have to live in balance. In order to be successful in your marriage and in your parenting and business, you have to have balance. Well, I'm here to tell you that that balance is what got me in trouble, right? Because that balance is really defined how you define it. And I was defining balance as it's okay to drink wine every night. It's okay to go out to eat 3-4 times a week and not really stick to the containers. It's okay to not measure the amount of rice that you're eating because it's balance. I'm living in balance. Well, I'm here to tell you that if that's your motto, you're going to end up exactly like me. You're going to be in a position where you're going to start giving into those excuses of, oh, it's just my age, or oh, my body's changed and I can't do this and I can't do that anymore. So I'm just going to accept the fact that I hate the way that I look, but it's okay because I'm living in a state of balance. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, so it was that word. It was that word that got me in trouble. And so Autumn said, okay, let's get back home. And I want you to do a strict round of the 21-day fix. Strict round, right? I want you to do it just like you did 4 years ago when you were in the test group, that you knocked it out of the park. You lost 12 pounds, 5 inches, best transformation ever, like killed it. I want you to do that again. I said, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And so I came home and I did that, right? And I lost a few pounds, but guess what? That word balance kept creeping in. And when I finished that round of the 21-day fix post leadership last year, because Autumn told me to do it, I started drinking wine again and I started eating out a little bit too much again. And so all the results, they kind of just wash away. And what was happening throughout this year prior to 80-day obsession was I would do great Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday it would be like, let's go out to dinner, right? Like, because I'm home and I want to go out to dinner, and so let's go out to dinner, and then at dinner have a margarita. And then guess what? Friday my workout's half-ass, and then because I've drank a margarita the night before. And so it was this whole vicious cycle that was happening to me. And of course, at the same time, I'm like, but it's balance, right? That's what we strive to have, and I have balance, right? And I convinced myself of all this, and what ended up happening was I gained 20 pounds. And I know a lot of people were like, well, I didn't see it, or, you really couldn't tell, but I could. I was buying jeans bigger than I was normally wearing. I was buying size large tops just because I didn't want to wear anything that would snug just a little bit. I wanted to be comfortable. In fact, this is one of the shirts that I bought in my era of balance. And so I knew that there was changes going on, but I didn't want to face it. Why? Because it's hard to face it. It's hard to look at yourself in the mirror and say, you did this to yourself. It wasn't the Eshure. It wasn't anything else other than Cristina Delgado. You did this to yourself. You did this to yourself. It wasn't the programs. It wasn't the nutrition plans, because those work. Obviously, I'm going to share how good they work in just a second. It was you weren't working, Cristina. You weren't working. And so I went through this whole process, and then I remember Autumn saying that she has a new project coming and that she wanted us to participate. And I didn't even hesitate. I didn't know that it was going to be 80 fucking days. I didn't know that. I didn't know that it was going to have this time nutrition plan. I didn't know that we were going to have to schedule our days around a workout. Like, I didn't know anything. I just said, count me in. Like, I'm in, whatever you do, I want to do it in. And so when we got this thing, it was overwhelming. I got to admit, like, I cannot sit here and say, oh, it's easy breezy, pumpkin cheesy. Like, it was freaking 80 days. I was like, what the, in crying out loud, am I supposed to do for the next 80 days? In the next 80 days, I have my birthday. In the next 80 days, we have a trip to London. In the next 80 days, we have trips planned to the Keys to end summer before our kids start school. In the next 80 days, I mean, I could just rattle off to you all the different things that should have said, like, don't do it. Like, don't do it because you're not going to have balance. You're not going to have balance in the next 80 days in order to enjoy all these events, right? But I said, I have to draw the line in the sand. Like, I need this. I need to prove to no one else. It wasn't for you. I didn't do this for you. I didn't do this for anyone other than to prove to me that I could do this, that I could work hard, that I could commit to something like this, that I could eat right, that I could go an extended period of time without drinking alcohol, which was a very scary thought for me, just so that you understand. Very scary. I did not realize that how much I enjoyed like having that social aspect of drinking alcohol, and how now in hindsight, how like I don't really need it. It just became a habit. Like, you go to the restaurant, you order the drink. You go to the bar, you order the glass of wine, and all of that starts to add up. Anyway, I digress. But in the 80 days ahead of me, like, I had all the reason to say, there's no fucking way I could do this. Like, there's no way. Oh my God. And Danny has to do it too. Like, I have to cook for him as well. Like, this is going to be crazy. But once I just erased all the excuses and said, those are singular events in a process, in a long process. It's one day. Your birthday, Christina's one day. London, Christina's at the end of this process when you're already so far committed that it's not even going to faze you. The trip to the Keys, you can do it. Who wrote the rule that you have to be drunk all the time in the Keys? You don't have to be drunk all the time in the Keys. Can you believe that? Like, seriously. And I did it. Right? I did it. I made the commitment. And the mental shift that has occurred in the last, it's been 90 something days in total. Like, there's 8, so you understand there's 80 workouts. 80-day obsession means you've worked out 80 days, but the program itself is like 93 days. So we're like 94 days now into this whole thing. Well, it's over, but you know what I mean. And I totally lost my train of thought, but I'm going to go back to it in a second. I promise you. Anyway, you know, like I was so far into the mindset shift. That's where I was. It's so much more than the physical thing, and I see the big difference between how I was 4 years ago when I did the 21-day fix program to now. It's just it's like black and white. Like, if you look at the transformation pictures, and at some point I will post the transformation pictures next to each other so you can see the physical changes of, you know, the 21-day fix and the 80-day obsession program. But what you can't see is all the changes that have occurred within me over the last 80 days. I now understand that everything that I had been doing were simply excuses. Like, were simply just being lazy. That's honest, 100% honest. I got comfortable. I wasn't being the best coach to my coaches or my customers by living that whole fit-ish lifestyle, branded fit-ish lifestyle, and being very focused on like this term balance, which now I understand that that's a bullshit excuse to be lazy. It really is. It's a bullshit excuse to be lazy. And inside, I'm in control. I'm in control of food. I'm in control of my water intake. I'm in control of my alcohol intake. Like, I did have a drink last night at the party, a couple drinks actually, I'm not gonna lie. But today I'm like, and that's the reason why I shouldn't do that anymore, right? Because, right, the mental clarity is like gone, right? So yes, I will still enjoy some cocktails here and there, but it's not going to be what happened to me before, where I let that become just a habit and it creeped into everything in my life. I will say that my business is thriving because I have so much structure, because my workout is part of my business day. It's not just something I have to kind of rush to do. it's part of my business day. Like, I go into my garage for an hour, and there's no phone, there's no talk. Before, it would be like, oh, let me take a selfie, let me take a video, let me do this, let me do that. And it's like, I'm a different person in the gym. I'm pushing hard. I'm pushing to every rep. I'm pushing to the clock. I'm pushing all the time. And all of that, you guys, all of that makes a difference, right? It makes a difference. If you're going in to the gym, to the garage, to wherever you work out, and doing 50% of the workout, you're going to get 50% of the results. And then on top of that, if you're only doing 50% of the nutrition plan, the results are going to be even worse. And then you're going to blame the process. And you know what? I kind of fell into that. Right before 80 Day Obsession. I started Googling like different things to do, right? High fat, low carb diet thing. This plan, macro plan, micro plan, all that stuff. I started Googling all that stuff when I had the solution right in front of me. I had it all the while, and it's those color-coded containers, right? That's the solution. It is like foolproof. It's actually foolproof and so simple. And so, yes, at the beginning of 80 Day Obsession, it was kind of overwhelming to wrap my head around this 80-day process I was about to embark on. But once I did it, you guys, once I was in it, it was like full steam ahead. Full steam ahead. There was nothing that fazed me. No outing, no travel, nothing fazed me. It was like, when are we going to work out? Where are we going to eat? Like, everything was boom, 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 boom. And that's what created massive success. So you're probably asking, what was that massive success? So I'm going to share my pictures after dinner. We're going to dinner now. And, oh, look at my stud muffin. Come here, say hi.
Hi.
Look, you're live on Facebook. Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
So I'm gonna share my results in at night. So probably around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'll share some pictures. But so I've lost 20 pounds. I lost 20 pounds, and I have it here. 14.5 inches. 14.5 inches and 20 pounds. And what's crazy is that most of the weight came off in phase 1 and phase 2. And then there was like a stretch of like almost 5 weeks where the scale didn't move. I actually lost weight in London. Check this out. And when I got back, I finally hit my goal of getting under 140. So when I weighed in for my final weight of 80 Day Obsession test group, I was weighing 138 pounds for an official 20-pound weight loss. And inches, check this out, you guys, 14.5 inches. And I'll tell you where the most were in my hips. I lost a bunch of inches in my hips. And my boobs are absolutely gone. So, yes, my boobs are like gone. So my chest and my hips were like crazy change. You know, this program has a focus of abs and butt. I am very pleased to announce that I have a very nice midsection now. Still working on those abs, but I got some of them popping already. But what's cool is that the muscle behind my ab muscles have grown. So it's not just like the layer of fat covering them is gone, because that is gone, but my ab muscles have grown because you work them so much in 80 Day Obsession. And so now, even when so before, when I would like just like stand and relax, you would just see like my gut hanging, right? Like in a bikini, my sister would always be like, Chris, suck it in, you know? My gut, now when I'm relaxed, you could still see my abs, and that's baller. Like, that's crazy. And then my butt, wait until you see that picture. Danny's mortified that I'm going to be sharing my butt pictures again, but it's insane that my butt is like happy now. It's smiling. It's not sad. And I don't have saddlebags anymore, so my butt smiles and there's no saddlebag. So I'm going to share that picture as well. But you guys, thank you for listening. I hope this resonates with you. You know, the sneak peek of 80 Day Obsession is coming out next week. I'm super excited about that, to finally share with our team. Oh my God, we have We have a group for our coaches. So if you're watching this, Diesel Nation coaches, and you're not in the group, you need to get in the group. But we're doing a sneak peek group for just coaches, and it's phenomenal. We're trying to get at least 500 people in there to see if we can have a special guest come in to motivate us. So coaches, make sure you get in that group. But also, I'm running a customer sneak peek for 80 Day Obsession, which starts on November 6th. So if any of my customers are watching, any of you guys that don't have coaches, you cannot have a coach, and need to be added into my group, please let me know. I'm really excited to share this gift with other people. You know me, guys, that you follow me. I'm not going to sugarcoat this program. I'm not going to tell you it's easy, because it's not. But I will tell you that if you commit to it, and if you do it and execute on this commitment, that 2018 is going to look completely different for you than 2017. Your confidence, your body, everything is just going to be 10 times improved. You're going to have the right skill sets to make it a long-lasting change, which is all we should be striving for. We shouldn't be striving for skinny. We should be striving for fit and healthy. And that's what the gift that 80 Day Obsession gives to you. If you want more information on this entire process for me, I've been blogging. I guess I can drop the link to my blog in the comments here. But go to ChristinaDelgado.com, go to blog, and I've been blogging since the beginning of this journey. I always share like what equipment you need and all that stuff, so you guys can check that out too. And of course, if you're a coach, you know that you can always go to the FAQs to get information. So I'm glad you guys watched. I hope this message was helpful. I know it helped a lot of people on Instagram. Don't let that word balance convince you that it's okay to not work hard. And that's the key in all this. You gotta work hard to get results. You gotta work hard to make change. You gotta work hard to have the body that you want to have, and you cannot let anyone convince you otherwise. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.